I wish that men had a move the way women have a move. Sucking a finger?
Oh.
No man is going to, say no.
Remember when we first met John McClane? Argyle picked him up from the plane and took him down the Nakatomi Tower at the Christmas party. And the terrorists were overzealous, but it was sweet when they killed Ellis. And with a little help from Alan, John McClane kicked ass.
Welcome back to Shat The Movies, the podcast where we answer the question, were the movies we loved when we were growing up really that good? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why don't they make movies like they used to? Can you still remember spending your Friday night searching for the perfect mood rental Blockbuster Video? Do you know what Blockbuster Video is? If you answered yes, then this is the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Gene Lyons. And alongside me is my co-host, Big D, Dick Ebert.
I realize this is a shit detail. This podcast is bottom of the barrel, but I would appreciate it, Gene, that you're not acting like a walking hard-on while we're working together.
And each week, we take a look back in time to decide if our favorite films still hold up. The movies we cover are chosen by you, the listeners, who generously commission the films you love. If you'd like to see all the movies we have covered, will cover, want to choose one for yourself, please visit shatpod.com and have a look. At the end of each podcast, we'll provide you, the audience, with the number of wipes each movie takes to get off your respective butts. So thank you so much for listening. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and share it with a friend. It's how we help the podcast grow. Additionally, subscribe to our sister podcast, Shat on TV. We review TV series such as Westworld, Taboo, American Gods, Game of Thrones, True Detective, Lovecraft Country, and Watchmen. Find all information and past episodes at shatpod.com/TV. And finally, if you'd like to hang out with us live, follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel, shatpod.com/Twitch, and our YouTube channel, where we play video games, host watch parties, and edit this podcast live. All that being said, Big D, what movie are you reviewing tonight?
Gene, tonight we are finishing up the month of Rob H. He's commissioned a diverse range of films. And tonight is a finale, so he wanted us to go back to 1987 and review the buddy cop comedy action film. And Rob was kind enough to call in and leave us a voicemail in his wonderful British accent on why he decided to commission this film.
Morning, guys. It's Rob H here from the UK. Hope all is well with you. It's a very rainy Sunday morning. I'm out walking Monty, as always, listening to you guys, and I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to leave you a voicemail to introduce my third commission, which I'm very excited about because it's my favorite buddy cop movie. Yes, I love Lethal Weapon series, but for me, this just has the edge. And it's Stakeout, the 1987 classic with Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez. So why do I love this movie? Well, I can remember the first time I rented it at Blockbuster, didn't really know much about it, but I had Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez. Loved Emilio Estevez from his movies as well, Breakfast Club, obviously. And thought I'd give it a go, and it's one of my most rewatchable movies since. I think the cast is brilliant. Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez together are fantastic. The comedy timing is brilliant. The connection is brilliant. To me, it looks like they're having real fun on this movie when they filmed it. I think some of the one-liners in there where Emilio Estevez is quoting Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws, "This was not a boating accident." Then Dreyfuss turns away and says, "No, I don't know that one." Brilliant. I think Dreyfuss is funnier than I ever thought, actually. I think he's absolutely hilarious when he's under the bed, dancing, when he's doing his little dance with Madeleine Stowe in the shower. Introduced me to Gloria Estefan back then, which is another reason I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Like I say, the connection between the leads is brilliant, but the other cast members are incredible as well. Aidan Quinn went on to be pretty big in the 90s. Forrest Whitaker, one of my favourite actors. I think one of the actors of our generation. He's very young here. He's in a different kind of role, but again, he has a presence. And this movie introduced me to Madeleine Stowe, who I fell in love with as soon as I saw Stakeout. I think in this movie, she's vulnerable. She's incredibly beautiful and sexy. And I think in the future roles she just goes from strength to strength. One of my favorite movies is a sleeper hit with Kevin Costner called Revenge, which I will be commissioning in the future, guys. So prepare yourself. She's brilliant in that as well. But she has real screen presence. She's absolutely stunning. And yes, you can probably tell I'm still partly in love with her as well. So the film is fantastic. It's got action. It's got comedy. The car chases are pretty good. The music's a bit dodgy, but it is the 80s. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie, as you can probably tell. For me, it's a 0.75 wipe. And interestingly, my girlfriend who lives in Chicago, Jean, you'll be happy to hear, love that city. She was telling me that in one of the scenes in Stakeout, when Aidan Quinn is going through the prisoners to test Richard Dreyfuss at the end, one of the names that's read out is actually her granddad, which is kind of spooky, seeing we'd not met. This was back in 1987, so Twilight Zone moment. Anyway, I digress. For me, 0.75 white. Cannot wait to hear what you say about it. Guys, I just want to say a huge thank you from everybody around the world, but especially for me over here in Blighty for This amazing podcast. Love every single second of it. It's my go-to every week. You two are geniuses. Thanks ever so much. Keep up the tremendous work. The beers are still in the bar. Whenever you want to come to Derbyshire, it's my round and 3. Take care, guys. Speak soon. Bye.
Where the fuck is he recording this? Is he on the moors? Is that like crows in the background?
Yeah, I think he's in Westeros somewhere.
Like
I'm sending him a fucking raven.
Is that real, or is he like punking us?
No, it's absolutely real. You never seen like photos or videos of where he is?
No.
Like his photos of Monty? Yeah,
No,
he's out there. He's out there in the rolling green hills. Yeah.
He is definitely out there. And then he said a lot there that I will touch on throughout. Number one, this was a gateway for Gloria Estefan, Miami Sound Machine. I don't know how else any other.
It was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, though, because he's like, yeah, it was my intro to Gloria Estefan. The music in this movie was dodgy. So
I don't think he was saying Gloria Estefan was great. You know, living in Florida, that's the Miami sound. You're used to it. He said one other thing I wanted to focus on. He said he liked Madeleine Stowe and he found her vulnerable in this role.
Yeah.
Vulnerable or victimized? Which one do you think is...
Well, no, not to get too into the podcast already, but she did have a rather complex character because on one hand, you're like, clearly Richard Dreyfuss is like, she should see all the red flags with Richard Dreyfuss, like he's fucking bad news. But on the other hand, you realize that this is a pattern for her. They established that, and it kind of makes sense where she's been burned, but she's kind of attracted to the burn a little bit until she's reconfronted with it, spoiler alert, when Stick gets back in her life.
Yeah, and now looking at her filmography, I think she always plays the victim. Last the Mohican, she's literally a hostage and victimized and watch her sister like jump off of a cliff. Then 12 Monkeys, again she's victimized, abducted again.
Yeah.
A lot of her films she seems to play those.
Oddly enough, she also has Sarah's smile, which is weird. My wife, Sarah's smile. I told Sarah that, and she was watching the movie and didn't agree, but watch it. It's like only the top teeth kind of thing. I don't do it justice. It's very charming. I find it charming.
Yeah, but the way you describe it makes it sound like it could almost be a slight or some kind of an insult. But I was so excited.
Dog.
I was so excited, Gene, when this came in, especially coming off of last week's buddy cop movie, Shoot to Kill, because that was much more like the standard buddy cop. You have like, in that one, you have like the grizzled, old, like the veteran, the loose cannon. And then sometimes you'd have a by the book guy who's days away from retirement. Stakeout, it's a very different movie. And honestly, the second I saw the poster and you get these two guys underneath the bed, giggling like little boys and almost looking up Madeleine Stowe's skirt as she's sitting on the bed. They know they're being naughty. It's a very different movie. And watching Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss with those mustaches, immediately I knew this was going to be a good time. And I was confident it would be a fun rewatch.
One of the biggest gaps in my cinematic resume is the 80s buddy cop movie. I've never seen 48 Hours, which I think kind of like started the genre. I've never seen Shakedown, The Rookie, Midnight Run, Running Scared, Red Heat, or this movie, Stakeout, or another Stakeout. I haven't seen any of them. Basically, if you wanted me as a child to watch a cop movie in the 80s, a buddy cop movie in the 80s, there had to be a dog sidekick. Like I saw like Turner and Hooch, like I saw that one. I saw Canine. But like you, Big D, I saw this movie poster with the two of them in their mustaches under the bed, looking up, and it just looks like a good time. I was ready to party.
And this started the entire genre. Not the buddy comedy, but the surveillance films. This came out in 87. Then we had Tequila Sunrise, which we absolutely loved. The Presidio, Blue Steel, Internal Affairs, Turner and Hooch, and then Kindergarten Cop. Where you get those.
Turner and Hooch was that?
Yeah, it was witness protection, but the witness is the dog.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Somebody commissioned Turner and Hooch. See if that one still holds up.
See, you just spoiled it for me. I always kind of thought that Hooch was like his partner, his dog sidekick.
Yeah, no. Well, no, because remember, he's like grossed out by him. He's like, oh, Hooch, you're so slobbery.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm tidy.
I thought they were partners still. I thought they were together. I didn't know he was the witness.
Stakeout was a 1987 buddy cop comedy starring Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez, Madeleine Stowe, and Aidan Quinn. The screenplay was written by Jim Kauf, who won a 1988 Edgar Award for his work. A sequel, Another Stakeout, followed in 1993. The film later inspired the 1989 Malayalam language film Vandanam and a 1991 Telugu language film Nirnayam. Let's hit the trailer.
I don't know if you're familiar with Montgomery, but just in case you're not, 2 years ago he killed one of our agents.
Just busted out of Stonehurst, didn't he? Killed a guard?
Movie.
Did we practice safe sex?
Probably not.
Seattle detectives Chris Lisi and Bill Reimers cover nights on an FBI stakeout of waitress Maria McGuire after her former boyfriend, Stick Montgomery, escapes prison with help from his cousin, Kaler. Meanwhile, Lisi is going through a divorce. He comes home and finds out his wife moved out, took the furniture, and left him in despair.
Okay, I think we got to do some housekeeping here right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to refer to them as Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
But Chris and Bill, I can do. If you start throwing in last names, I think we're going to run into trouble here.
All right. Lisi is Chris. Reimers is Bill. Okay. And then Maria is Maria. And Stick
is Richard
Montgomery.
Gotcha. Okay. Now that everybody knows the ground rules, the movie starts off and right out the gate, Stakeout, it lets you know what it's going to be. Just like Shoot to Kill did with that whole hostage scene, we get a scene. It's Stick, he's in prison, and he's got an accomplice. He's ready, and they're going to do an escape, right? So it's this elaborate, the cellmate stabs him, he's taken to the infirmary, and then his cousin, I guess, who's like a delivery guy, he has breaks in. It should be the easiest breakout ever. They already have access to the car. It should be a simple extraction. Instead, they choose to do a mix of parkour, rappelling. They make it much more difficult. Stick somehow is not with his cousin anymore. He appears on the roof of an adjacent building. He then rappels down a rope, a climbing rope, which they've already set up. But the climbing rope is not long enough to reach the ground or the truck. So then he kind of swings, launches himself as the cousin is driving a moving van below it. He falls, almost rolls off the side of it, then does roll underneath, pulls an Indiana Jones, grabs the drive shaft with his bare hands, goes under it into some kind of a compartment. It is completely unnecessary, Gene. Why? He's with the cousin. I know you wanted some action, but just get into the secret compartment.
Yeah, I should add some dimensions to this story that you're telling, because the cousin comes into the infirmary, they kill a guard, then they take the doctor and beat his ass and like tie him up and gag him. And then the vehicle, as Big D said, has a hiding place in it. So it's not like they did the rope thing after the checkpoint. He does the rope thing off of an entirely separate building, drops on top of the truck, rolls to the bottom, gets into the hiding space, and then they get to the checkpoint. You could have just gotten into the hiding space. The truck was already there. It makes absolutely no sense, but that's what happens, Big D, when you hire the stunt coordinator from Rambo. Like, it's the same guy that did the stunts from Rambo First Blood, Charlie's Angels, The Fall Guy. Like, this is 80s stunt guy. Also, A-Team, Batman Forever in the 90s. It is clear that the studio said, we want some big stunts, get us a big stunt coordinator, And they had all the 80s classics. They had boat scene. They had car chase. They had dog stuff. They had forklift with Emilio Estevez flipping off it into the water. I'm not mad about it. I was entertained.
Yeah, you have the chase across the docks. You have sliding down a fish chute, like a fish slide.
I mean, I don't know if that classifies as an 80s classic. I think it's the first time I saw the fish slide.
That is true, but how about driving off of a pier?
Yeah, that's all the time.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
And the boat getaway, we saw that shit in Shoot to Kill.
Also, Tequila Sunrise, was that the one with it?
There's always a boat. No, I thought Tequila Sunrise had the...
He had the boat in the yard, I thought.
What was the one? Oh, I think it's Hang Out in Cash with the monster trucks. Now that's action.
I wouldn't. Well, it makes sense, because if you're hiring, an established stunt coordinator, I did Rambo. I did Charlie's Angels. If I tell you to put a swing off of a building, you do it. God damn it. That's what you did. That's why you have me here. You didn't have any military experts or police experts on set, so you're going to listen to the man. But the cops, we got 2 cops here, right? They're partners. I don't know if they're friends. They're more like colleagues who tolerate each other. And they're going to go on this stakeout, as you mentioned, because now that, Stick has escaped and they've identified where he might go, and they act like it's torture. Oh, we're going on a stake. This is terrible. This is a stakeout. This is coming off of their fishcapade at the dock, where they both got hit in the face, guns pulled. It's dangerous. But I don't know why they're acting like this is the most miserable exile they could have. It is the safest, laziest version of police work. You're getting paid, right? You're not getting shot at. Nobody's running at you, chasing you down an alley. You're not crashing cars. You're not driving off the pier into the water. You're not covered in blood or fish guts. You're sitting there, literally ordering takeout, killing time, and just watching some beautiful women through the window. If anything, this should be a reward. You should have guys fighting over who is going to get the next stakeout. They rent them a place. They just sit there. They can draw on the window, or they could draw naked pictures. They got magazines. They just sit around. This is perfect, Gene. This should be the ideal, what do they call it when they're going to give an assignment? This should be the ideal assignment.
Yeah, not just for cops, just for dudes in general. This is basically every dude's dream. If you're like, hey, I'm going to pay you. You get to stay up all night with your buddy. If they said, hey, Big D, Gene, go to this apartment. You guys hang out. You can play pranks on each other. There's a telescope set up. You can look at stuff, eat like a teenager. What's not to love? You can
bring your dog. You can bring your pets.
Bring your dog, stay up all night. Yeah.
And the best part is, granted, that Chris is getting divorced, I think, because of his job. But imagine, that's why guys build man caves. That's why guys go into the garage alone. That's why guys have hobbies. You could now say, hey, listen, hon, I got to go away for the next 12 hours. You can't call me. You sit up there in your man cave. You come home, and Bill's wife, she's eager to have him home the next morning. It's a win-win.
Montgomery, who has a stash of money secretly hidden in Maria's armchair, calls her at the same time Chris and Bill are cutting her phone line to bug her phone. Chris and Bill spy on Maria, hoping Montgomery will turn up at her door so they can arrest him. In the process, Chris gets unprofessionally close to Maria. He introduces himself as Bill, by the way. He also helps her brother Ray get a job to stay out of trouble.
So, yeah, that's the premise of the movie. The poster shows it. He's going to get unprofessionally close. I think he's contaminating the entire case, any evidence, any procedure. They can all get fired. And it's a weird reoccurring theme that we've had in our 80s movies we've done, where cops specifically find it funny to just invade women's privacy. Now, I'm not being all high and mighty and being 80s movies, because we get sometimes reviews where people are like, it was the 80s, let it go. I understand that. I understand. You could be a horny cop, but it kind of blurs the line sometimes between purpose. Do you remember Blue Thunder?
Yeah.
Do you remember how we're introduced to Blue Thunder? Yes. Blue Thunder is this super high-tech stealth whisper mode. And they choose to demonstrate its power by hovering over a woman's apartment and watching her. Was she doing naked Pilates or
yoga?
Just hot Pilates? Oh, naked yoga.
Yeah.
She was, right?
Yeah.
And then she sees them and they're like, oh, let's get out of here. Or do you remember Mahoney? Mahoney gets into the police academy.
Yeah.
What's the first thing he does? One of them is to go watch the female
great
recruits.
with his shirt off.
He does. He really did. He goes and peeps into the shower room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems like it's a funny thing that you do. And I understand 80s comedy, haha, it's funny. But it goes a little too much because you've got now, we're supposed to like, I was going to say Richard Dreyfuss. We're supposed to like Chris, but he absolutely reads like a creep. He's spying, he's watching, and he's talking about her in a way like he's almost a stalker. And the movie then switches from him being like, oh, look at her, yeah. He's in her apartment, she's in the shower 3 feet away, and he's like gyrating and like pumping his hips, and he's watching her, and you're like, get out of the apartment. He's looking through her drawers. He's like a horny home invader. And then they flip the switch, and he becomes like distant and evasive, and he starts negging her. And once he becomes emotionally unavailable, Maria suddenly finds him irresistible. He is, and like maybe it is because she was with a convicted felon, somebody who went to jail. So maybe she's been conditioned to do that. And she likes him as a bad boy. And he's dodging questions and he's asking for disguises. And the film wants us to believe that this is okay, that this is, it's less creepy and it's more that he actually liked her. So it makes everything that he's doing okay. But from the way he starts out to the end, there's no saving this relationship. If any woman you were ever with knew you were under her bed or saw you just like horny, like drooling, watching her shower, that's the end of the relationship.
Rob called Maria vulnerable in this film. There are so many red flags. This woman needs help. I would feel badly for her. I would be worried about her. I wouldn't be attracted to her. First of all, her estimation of Chris being nice, it's transactional. It's not like, I think you're a great guy. It's like, you fixed my phone. You got my brother out of jail. Like, you're a nice guy. Like, that's a guy that's just doing things for you. That's exactly what somebody would do if they're just trying to nail you. Like, that's what a guy would do, right? Like, what about his qualities? What about the way he behaves? Is he interesting? Anyway, the whole thing feels very wrong. The woman's life is in danger, and Chris is just perving on her. And they address that later in the movie. Like, he comes clean, he lets her know he's a cop, he apologizes for it. She gets correctly angry with him, right? So they do address that later in the movie, but at this point in the movie itself didn't seem to get the memo, because what it didn't need to do and what it chose to do is have him check her out in the shower while Miami Sound Machine is trying to convince us, hey, everybody, it's a party.
The rhythm is going to move you.
Yeah, the rhythm's going to get you.
It's
just like this cop in your apartment. Shame on you, 1987. Shame on you.
Dude, but what's even worse, right? We see that he was married in the beginning. He goes home, and I think the wife has left, or longtime girlfriend. Only then does he flip from pervy, like, observer to then actively going after her and courting her.
Well, yeah, he got rid of the old ball and chain. See?
Yeah, but she was 100% damaged.
Yeah. One thing I did appreciate, if we're just going to give this movie a little bit of credit, though, is most movies would make Bill the guy who gets the girl, right? He's younger, he's more attractive. Emilio Estevez, I'm saying, right? He's the younger guy. He's the cool guy. He would have been the one. So it was kind of nice to see that the older silver fox of the group was the one that was the leading man.
If we're going to be honest, she would have taken either one. She probably would have taken both of them.
No. I think that Bill is just too good a guy, and she would have been like, I don't know, he seems kind of lame.
Yeah, but she'd fuck him first.
Oh yeah, she's gonna fuck him. She's got no social life. She has no friends. She made one phone call this entire movie. They're watching her for a week. She makes one phone call. Was it to her mom? No. It was to her mom, and then she had the friend whose husband is abusive. That's her whole social life. Yeah. I think we're learning some things about Maria here. Well, fate takes a turn as Chris falls in love with Maria, and the police suspect him of being one of Montgomery's allies. They have sex, and Chris accidentally sleeps in. When he wakes up, he tries to leave the house in Maria's hat and shawl without being seen, which triggers a police chase that ends in Reamer's Bill rescuing him with a getaway car. At the police station, Bill scolds Chris for sleeping with Maria and reminds him that he is a good cop who made a mistake.
Okay, so Gene, you said they make love. He
said
goes
they have
over
sex.
there. They have sex. Okay, so he goes over there, and they're getting close, and she wants it. Mm-hmm. And he fought her off a little bit the first time, and now he's going to give in. And I'll say, as much as I think he was a creep, Madeleine Stowe, she is sexy.
Yeah.
And she is seducing him. And I find myself, my will would be withering. I would be going that way.
I wish that men had a move the way women have a move. Sucking a finger?
Oh.
No man is going to say no. You get your finger sucked? Oh my God.
No, there's no chance. And they start hooking up. And of course, the entire time, Bill is watching. And I was wondering, Gene, if you and I were on a stakeout, okay? Yeah. And you're across the street. I'm married, right? But you're single. And you start this. You're going at it, but I'm watching and I can see you.
Yeah.
Do you go out of your way to maybe, close the door in an awkward way and ruin the moment? Or do you just go at it knowing I'm watching?
I have to respect the privacy of the other person. It would be wrong. It'd be the equivalent of taking a secret video and posting on the internet, I think, to be able to make it voyeuristic. But I do think this action that you're talking about.
Hold on. What? You are a cop. You're a cop on a stakeout. You're already violating her. How much more are you worried about violating her? You draw the line at covering her with
I thought you were asking me.
Yeah, you and I are cops. We're cop buddies.
Yeah, we're cops. We're guards. Yeah. We're cops. Yeah.
Officer Lyons.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do your best? She's been sucking on your finger. Yeah. Are you gonna just go to town, or are you gonna worry that I'm there watching?
No, I'm gonna do the same exact thing that Chris did, which is I'm gonna keep mugging for the telescope, right? It's gonna be. I thought that was so brilliant that with the drink and with food and everything, he just keeps looking over, just giving him a hey. That's pretty brilliant. I couldn't do it. But I also wouldn't be creeping on somebody in the shower.
No, I wish I could watch. I would want to watch you. And I would hope that wouldn't bother you. With the grappling you do, I would only imagine.
Well, listen, if the person was willing, if she was hey, I like to be watched, I'd be well.
Let's pretend we're being watched.
Let's pretend we're being watched. Right here. No. 1 foot over here. Right here. Yeah, right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think you would make love like Jean-Claude in some of those movies where we've watched him do splits. He's very aggressive. We talked about him like he's grappling. I picture you could do that. But so now we've had some action. We've had some police chases, right? But there's a comedy component to this film. And I don't know that always it gets the balance right. There is one moment, however, though, that just hit me and I laughed out loud. So we've got now, the entire time, Chris has been walking the tightrope. He's been flirting and courting Maria, but he also has to do it in a way that the day crew doesn't see him or record him. So they have the moment there where he's had sex with her, and it's so good and so tiring that he wakes up in the morning and the crew is across the street. The morning crew is there. So now he's got to figure out a way to get out of the room and get out of the house. So he says to her, I have a weird skin condition. I need a hat. Okay, he gets a hat. I need a scarf. She's questioning it, but not as much as she should. He then gets out of the house. A whole hijinks ensues. They get back to the police department now. So we've now seen what happened. And Chris and Bill have not had to deal with it until they get into a briefing room. I think the FBI is there. All the police are there. All the leadership are there. And they're like, we've got some new evidence. And they start playing the phone call. And you hear that it's Chris. And he's coughing and using a funny voice. They show the video then of him in the pink hat and the scarf running around. And it's the first time that we, the audience, are not alone, because all the police are shocked. They don't know what's going on. And just the way that the actor Richard Dreyfuss, playing Chris, looks over at Emilio Estevez, playing Bill, and that side-eye embarrassment, it's the best laugh I had in the movie.
On paper, this laugh should not work, because we've seen both of these things already. We heard the phone call, And we also saw him leaving the house. So it's not like this is a new reveal for us, but it's when you switch the context, right? Yeah, we realized that we were on the stakeout together. And this stuff is weird, but it's like weird in the context of the stakeout. You take it outside of that context, you put it in a broader group, a whole room full of cops, and suddenly it becomes really funny. And yeah, it was the biggest laugh of the movie, I think. And also at this point, Big D, we're starting to root for Chris because he's growing on us, right? We see that despite acting tough to the FBI, first off being like, no, I'm not going to call for backup. Like, I'm buzzed. I'm a cop. I'm a Seattle cop. I'm going to do this. And despite being a creep, perving on Maria, he's really just a desperate goof. He's a horny, desperate goof. And it reminds me so much of my friends' dads growing up. Like, they weren't bad guys. They were just dads in the 80s, right? Like, think of how weird it is now. If you in your garage just had like bikini photos of Kathy Ireland on the wall, that's weird. But back in the 80s, that was normal. Like, yeah, that's dad's space. And he puts up, you know, not Playboy centerfolds, but like you got the Budweiser girls or whatever up there, the Swedish bikini team. That was normal. Or like you would go out with your friends to like Denny's or something like that, and their dad would flirt with the server or at the Mexican restaurant, right? They just did. It was harmless. Like, you know that. And I don't want to be that guy. That's not what I'm saying. In 2026, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that dad, but I miss that dad. Those guys were kind of cool.
Right. It's kind of like dad jokes, right? You realize that dads aren't trying to be funny. They're saying bad jokes, acknowledging it. In the 80s, when a dad would hit on a server, he didn't think he was getting laid. It was like a dad, what would you say, like a dad line or dad hitting. It was almost like something, it was endearing. I don't think it was something to be like cause a divorce.
He knew how impossible the situation was, and it was the joke was on him. You know, the joke was on, like he was the butt of the joke in those situations. And yeah, again, not advocate. I would feel very uncomfortable doing that, but I'm glad, like Mr. Hunt, if you're out there listening, Mr. Swank, if you're out there listening, thanks for those moments. That meant something to me.
But Gene, anyone, because you've been doing videos now, anyone who's watching a video of the podcast now can see, as someone who is trying to figure out facial hair, only for the last year have I finally grown it for the first time. You are someone with majestic hair. You're long, flowing, very soft and supple hair. You have, I'm sure you have like a hot oil treatment that you do. Your hair is nice. It's great. It really is. Like it's great. It's very rich.
Thank you.
You could be the cover of like a romance novel. You look mysterious. You could be some form of like a captain or some kind of like a what was the prince. You could be a prince. You could be a Persian prince.
Prince of Persia.
For you.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hey, Prince of Persia. But if you see the video of me here, see, I have limited options with my facial hair. This film, the mustaches on these men, it's a key component. If you had them clean shaven, I don't think they're as mischievous. I don't think they're as like fun, relatable guys. And it's only a specific type of guy, as I grow facial hair, that can work a mustache. I don't think I ever could. If with just a mustache, I think I would look weird. But in the 80s, these two dudes, it works with their face. I think Richard Dreyfuss, it fits him because he's older. He's not gray, so it makes him look maybe like he's a little tougher. Maybe he's a bad guy or a tough guy, which Maria likes. But Emilio Estevez, he's still too young here. He's still too Breakfast Club. He's still too Mighty Ducks. He looked to me like a kid who had gone into his father's closet and taken out his dad's big oversized suit and put it on and said, hey, I'm going to work. I'm a grown-up now. It doesn't fit him. He's trying too hard to be something he's not.
I think that's part of the character design, because he mentions that he had to work really hard to become a detective by, 23? I think he says, so he's like 23 years old, maybe 24 years old. And so I think he's trying to like be like the other cops. Now, ironically, the other two detectives that they work with do not have mustaches, but I think this is what they're trying to do. But you mentioned that how critical these mustaches are to the movie. Do me a favor and look at the posters for another Stakeout. Okay, because both of them have shaved by another Stakeout. That was 93, I think. They both shaved at that point. Big D, the Riz is all gone. And I'm not just talking about the introduction of Rosie O'Donnell. Like, Emilio Estevez has lost all of that, slimy young detective charm. He looks like he's back in the Brat Pack. He looks like he belongs in high school. No, thank you. In my book, both of these guys need to keep the stash, even if it's a little goofy.
It doesn't work. There's, I think it's that rebel. There's something about a mustache. It definitely adds to your character. I've seen the way people treat me differently because of my facial hair.
I once read that kissing a man without a mustache was like eating an egg without pepper. And I agree with that.
So Rosie O'Donnell, kind of a weird choice there for like a pairing.
And they added a dog too.
Well, do you remember, in Speed, who was originally cast as Annie?
That was Sandra Bullock's character?
Yes.
It was, I remember this one.
I don't mean to ambush you here.
No. Give me a sec. It was a comedian.
It was a female comedian with a television show.
A female comedian.
Much like Rosie O'Donnell.
With a television show.
Yes.
Ellen
Rosie
DeGeneres.
had a talk show. That is correct.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres was originally cast as Annie. Who cast Rosie O'Donnell in this? I haven't even seen it, but I can tell you it's going to be the wrong casting choice. You could cast anybody else but her.
Yeah. Are you asking me who did it?
No, I'm saying you could. That's a horrible casting.
Yeah.
That tells me I never want to see this film.
And listen, guys, I think Rosie O'Donnell's great. She doesn't belong in that movie. And she wears underwear with dick holes in them.
Is that something from outside the movie that you know, or is that part of the plot?
Okay. No, it's a Chappelle Show classic.
Okay.
I know you don't like the black comedy, but
I do like.
I mean, comedy from black people.
I actually do. I'm very in touch with the African American community.
After Don Lemon's arrest.
Come on,
Don Lemon's arrest.
Me like that.
Don Lemon's arrest. Opinions, thoughts?
You gotta stay out of that church.
Oh, God damn you. After killing a cashier in a gas station, Montgomery and Reese have a run-in with several officers. In the fray of a high-speed shootout, their car crashes into the river. Montgomery escapes before it sinks, but Reese is wounded and goes down with the car. Chris reveals his profession to Maria, and she breaks up with him. Suddenly, Montgomery ambushes her and reveals he stashed $500,000 in a chair he bought for her. He was hoping that he and Maria would have a great life together in Canada, but Chris ruined it.
Gene, I came to a realization in this part of the film. We've got now back to action. The hijinks is over. This is now serious business. We're back to car chases, people being killed, people being shot at. And the thing that jumped out at me, when we watch movies like modern movies like Fast and the Furious, or think of some modern action films, they somehow feel safe. And I think it's because of modern cars. You expect to be able to survive a crash. If I crashed my car now, I would expect to survive because the airbags, anti-lock brakes, it's pretty, I think it's survivable. Watching these car chases, these things are scarier than I remember. And I grew up, one of the cars in the crash is a Chevy Citation, that little hatchback that gets used as like a pit maneuver to block the cops. My parents had one of that thing. I don't even think it had seatbelts, the one that they had. And you're watching these cars, these giant boats, these like Land Cruisers rolling down the highway, and they're rocking left and right, and you brake and the tail end swings around. The suspensions are loose. Everything looks like it's borderline out of control, and the cars are just going to flip. There's no airbags. There's no safety features. It is just a giant box of metal, and we've seen it. Blues Brothers, used cars. I felt for all of that. We talked about in movies how many people die in these car chases, like Smokey and the Bandits. This literally had me fearing for everybody involved in these scenes.
I'm not even sure that most of the stunts were intentional. When Stick realizes he's surrounded on the bridge, he's got cops on one side, cops on the other, and he decides, I'm going to go off-roading. Okay, I'm going to go down the embankment off of the overpass. There is a state police car that goes after him, and you're like, okay, cool, it's going to chase him down this dirt road. It hilariously makes it about 20 feet before it just rolls off the side of the embankment. It is fantastic to watch. I was laughing, I was clapping, but part of me was thinking, like, was that supposed to happen?
I don't know. Well, only when they added in the sound of a dying police siren. It was like, woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo.
By the way,
for
for movie detail buffs, there is in this movie a movie mistake during that scene where you can actually see underneath the overpass, the film crew is right there. They're in plain sight. So, fun fact: if you watch Stakeout, watch that part.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
But you said here $500,000. I think you said that this is
$500,000. Yeah,
$500,000, right? I didn't get that. I didn't see that because the whole movie you're waiting for this big reveal. I left her with this fortune. She doesn't even know she has it. So I'm thinking diamonds. Maybe it's gold. Maybe it's a piece of art that he's rolled up and hidden, because it has to be something that I could hide in your possessions that I know you wouldn't get rid of, right? And then you see him take out the knife. He cuts the back of the chair and he pulls out like 3 stacks of hundos. And he's like, oh, I knew you'd keep the furniture or whatever. People died. There was police being shot. You've had the people stabbed. You've had doctors knocked out. And I started thinking, I'm like, how the hell is this worth it? Then you just said $500,000. Gene, in your rough estimate, how large, because they look like $100 bills, what do you think? And again, I'm ambushing you again here. Roughly, in your ability to estimate, what do you think $500,000 in $100 bills? What's the size? What's the weight? What do you think?
Okay, so $100.
So we got 5,000 bills, obviously.
Yeah, 5,000 bills. I don't know, 30 pounds.
See, I would have thought that as well. It's not even near that. 5,000 bills is roughly 16 square feet or 80,000 square inches. It would only weigh apparently 11 pounds.
Oh.
So I would have thought it would have been much more. I was thinking it would have had to have been in the walls. It would have had to be, because each bill is 1 gram, 500,000 in hundreds is 5,000 bills. That's 5 kilograms. It's like 11 pounds, right?
Yeah.
It's like a bowling ball.
Yeah. So
I
when
wish
we're
that
watching these bank heist movies where they got like the giant ass like duffel bags of cash, that's got to be millions.
No, but I think it's mixed bills. If you did this in 20s or you did it in 50s, even just cutting it down to 50s, you're talking now 22 pounds.
So it's bearer bonds.
That would have been expected, because I felt bad for all these people who were died and like injured all over like 3 stacks. But it turns out maybe she had a complete dining set. And each one of the chairs would have a weight that she wouldn't have suspected. But thank goodness she didn't have to downsize in the years he was in prison, because that would have been a hell of a thrift item to buy.
Single lady working as a server in Seattle. The chances of her living in the same place after you've done your time or having the same furniture, like, not great.
No, but she stopped talking to you.
Yeah. I'm going to start.
I would have worried that she found it. That's the first thing I would have thought of. When she broke off communication, I would have been like, she fucking found my money. I'm going to fucking kill her. That's what he would have.
Well, earlier in the movie Big D, the FBI, they tell Bill and Chris, like, hey, if Montgomery shows up, you call us. That's it. That's your job. Getting back to our whole point that the stakeout's not a bad gig. You literally sit there, you see the guy show up, you call the FBI, your job is done. You go home. Now, at this point in the movie, we see why the FBI said to call them, because these cops are inept. Instead of calling for backup when he sees Montgomery holding Chris and Maria at gunpoint, Bill decides, I'm going to go over there as slowly as possible. It takes him, I shit you not, in movie time, 10 minutes to prowl across the street, sneak, 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 up onto the roof. And then he goes, sneak, 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 over to the window. Then he like gets seen, so he's got to jump to like another roof. And then he ends up back down on the ground where Chris eventually punches him in the face to, I guess, presumably like to stop Stick from shooting him from behind. But these cops, Chris and Bill, they have so many chances to do the smart thing, and they fuck up so many times, not for comedic effect, Just because they're not good at what they're doing and the plot is written that way, it insults the audience.
No, I disagree. I'm going to take the same route you did. You said that Bill was growing a mustache so that he'd be respected more because he was a young detective, right? Let's roll this back. Chris has been continuously putting Bill in a bad situation. He said, Bill, I'm done with you. You're risking my career. I didn't put all this time into it. So now we've already had a situation where Chris has compromised the case. So now Chris is over there trying to reconcile his relationship. Bill is like, what do I do? If I call the FBI, they're going to unravel the entire thing. They're going to find out that we were aware that Chris was having sex with the witness. I'm fired. He's fired. It's a big case. So he made the choice to risk both Maria's, Chris, and his own life to go over there and try to do it in a way that the FBI wouldn't find out. And that's fucked up. What if Maria gets shot?
What if Maria gets shot? Fucking on the flip side of it, though, also, Chris knows that Montgomery is a cop killer. He's killed guards. He just kills for fun, right? And you knock your partner out and just assume that this cop killer is not going to, I don't know, kill him? We should mention to everybody who hasn't seen this movie, by the way, Chris at this point is acting like he is a parolee and not a cop. Like, so he knocks Bill out. I think that the comedy part, the stakeout part of this movie worked out, but when we start getting into the police part, it's not doing so great. After capturing Bill, Montgomery plans to murder both cops. He takes the two and Maria to the docks where his associate, BC, arrives on a boat. Chris and Bill manage to free themselves when Maria jumps on Montgomery's back. Chris goes after Montgomery while Bill goes after BC, who has fled on his boat. Bill sneaks onto the boat and fights BC until the boat crashes and BC drowns. At a nearby paper mill, Chris shoots Montgomery in the chest and survives with Maria. Big D, I know you've been itching to play Dungeons & Dragons. Rule number 1, as any Dungeons & Dragons player will know, is you never split up the party. You can split up the party. It's never a good idea. Here we have Bill, Chris, and Maria. They have Stick Montgomery outnumbered 3-1. Okay, his associate has just fled. So you got him 3-1. His escape plan is out the window. Boat is gone. And Chris has a gun in the car and knows he does. I don't understand at this point. You've got him right where you want him. Why does Bill go after BC? Like, the movie's already established he's a low-level fish crook, okay? And you're going to jump into the water and go after him in the boat. Anyway, we get a shootout then, where Chris's car door, accurately, I should say, stops a .380 round from Montgomery's Browning BDA. By the way, people, this is one of the most shocking gun moments in cinematic gun history to me. This gun looks like a fucking hand cannon. It's nickel plated. It's gigantic. I'm like, oh man, like this thing is going to fuck some shit up. It's a .380, Big D. I don't know what the hell was going on in the 80s, but the guns didn't make any sense at all. Anyway, Montgomery shoots. Chris dodges behind the door and then proceeds to violate pretty much every rule of pursuing an armed killer, right? Like, if you've got a gun and that guy's got a gun, you slow things down. You don't speed things up. You don't try to close distance on him because guess what? He's got a gun and you've got a gun. You don't pull a fucking Kevin Costner in Untouchables, okay? Like, in addition to that, you try to verbally de-escalate. You try to tell him, like, maybe we can make a deal. You do any of those things, but no, he's got to be a hero. He doesn't wait for his partner who's off chasing fish guy. If it weren't for Maria, I should point out, she is the reason why Chris is not dead in this movie. She's the hero.
So I think the answer is easy. We established this early on. You gave power to the stunt coordinator. The stunt coordinator right now. Right. So if I said, Gene, I'm going to give you a hypercar or a sports car, what are you going to do with it? You're going to drive it.
Yeah.
If I give you a jet ski, you're going to go find a body of water. You're going to use it. If I give you Hooper from Jaws, are you not going to put him on a boat?
That's true.
On a fishing boat?
Yeah.
You're going to put him out there. You have to do that. That made complete sense. Just to get Richard Dreyfuss on a boat again, it made complete sense. Get him in, get the cops in the water. Richard Dreyfuss
was on the boat.
It wasn't in the water? Or was
Estevez was on the boat.
Yeah, well, the boat was near him. It's enough.
Proximity to a boat.
I made the connection to proximity. Don't go in the water.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat. Well, Big D, before we close out, I want to just take a moment and talk about what a feast this movie must have been for the women and the gays in 1987. Because yes, you've got Silver Fox, Richard Dreyfuss, and you've got young buck, Emilio Estevez, but we haven't talked about the fact that Aidan Quinn is a snack, and he's the bad guy. He looks good in that like Rocky hat with like the bomber jacket and the tight jeans. BC, he's there for the emo girls. And then you've got Ian Tracy. Now, Ian Tracy is playing Stick's cousin, right? Who helps him bust out. He dies tragically in the river. Okay. This is a good-looking kid. He's got a little like a James Dean like rebel thing going on. And he's not a bad guy. He's like, I don't want to shoot at cops. Like, why do we have to keep hurting people? I just want to, whatever. We normally don't get hotties on both sides of the law. And I feel like if it kind of goes a little way to balance out the inherent misogyny in this movie, like, yeah, they kind of did some creepy things with the female lead, but at the same time, like, there was a lot of good man meat to look at in this movie.
See, but I think you have to have, like, an escaped prisoner. There's always the joke like that, like the serial killers, like Ted Bundy, or that are, women find it attractive.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, you need these bad guys to be charismatic. Look at Kindergarten Cop. Kindergarten Cop, you had Buddy Revell, Richard Dreyfuss. No.
His jaw, oh God, that guy's gross.
Listen to me. He was in that movie with Sherilyn Fenn, that little, like, that sexy film that I had a lot of alone time as a kid.
I thought you were, brother, I thought you were going to talk about like James Spader or something.
No, that's enough of a bad boy. No, you needed a bad boy. James
Spader's a bad boy.
You're so fucking, yeah. You're so fucking, I was going to say you're so gay. You're so gay.
Guilty.
In happy, yes.
Now's the time of the podcast to give our Shat score for Stakeout. Shat score is our way of telling you how many wipes the movie takes to get off your respective butts. 0 wipes is a perfect movie. It's a diet crouton. And 5 wipes is an absolute disaster of a film. It's when Earl Warren leaves you a dog turd. That actually was the funniest joke of the movie, Big D. I'll go first. If I had to choose one word to sum this movie up, it is formulaic. The gags were tired. I'm sorry. Eye black on the binoculars, dog poop in the fridge. They somehow even managed to take a cat and a dog in the same car. And I'm ready for hijinks. And they made it so much less exciting than it should have been. We're not breaking any new ground in this movie. It's not doing anything experimental. At the same time, we're not doing the classics well either. I'm going to have to go just below average and say this is a 3-wipe movie.
You forgot about the toilet paper avalanche.
Toilet paper. I kind of did chuckle at that one.
Come on, you got to do. It's again. This is like
a
guy's night
joke.
out.
It's it's whatever.
This is a guy's night out. They're in their clubhouse. They're not working. They have to have some hijinks. So for this, I'm much kinder, Gene. I'm landing at 2.25 wipes for Stakeout. It's messy. It's very 80s. It's a lot of humor that didn't age well. I mean, the poster alone is 2 guys giggling, looking up a skirt. Can you imagine being like, "Hey, honey, let's take the kids and go watch Stakeout," or "Hey, you want to go on a date to watch this?" No. The surveillance is a bit creepy, but the tone's in and out. But the chemistry between Dreyfuss and Estevez, it carries the movie. The 2 of them are great together. Looking at the soulless poster for part 2, I have no interest in watching that. You can tell that they're not into it. It's goofy. It's occasionally unhinged, but I mean, I don't think it's as bad. 3 wipes. I think 2.25 wipes. I wouldn't have left the theater upset. I'm comfortable with that.
All right, with the Shat score of 2.25 wipes from Big D and 3 wipes from me, that gives us an average wipe score of 2.625 wipes for Stakeout.
That now ties this in the 285 spot. With Beowulf, Hellraiser, The Deer Hunter, and The Beach, it's slightly better than Pretty Woman and slightly worse than Adventures in Babysitting.
How did Beowulf get such a healthy score? I feel like the rest of those movies are decent. Beowulf, though, gah. That's another Christopher Lambert.
No, you gave that fucking 2, at least according to my numbers here. I gave it a 3.25. You gave it a 2.
Must have been because Christopher Lambert.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
He's a genius.
He is a genius. He has maximized his potential.
Backup quarterback of Hollywood.
He's the greatest.
Christopher Lambert. Well, Rob, that makes it 2.625 wipes for your commission. I hope that you're happy with that and don't revoke your fourth commission because we'd still love to do it. But before we announce what the next movie is, Big D, you have a choice to make here. We have some voicemail lined up and some email lined up. So you have a choice between doing some voicemail, mystery grab bag, or getting into your calls for the fictional baseball roster. We got 2 of them submitted so far.
Oh, fuck. You got to go for the roster. You have to.
Well, all right. For those who did not catch the Field of Dreams episode or didn't listen all the way to the end, Big D made a call. He's giving away a bobblehead to the person who can beat him for the best baseball roster, starting 9, and they have to be fictional characters, so no real people, and they have to have appeared in movies. All right, Big D, if you want to remind us of what the grand prize is.
Oh, it is the bobblehead for the Field of Dreams game where the Yankees got walked off in dramatic fashion. So Cole Pickhock got it at the White Sox game, and it is a bobblehead commemorating the terrible Yankee loss in the Field of Dreams Classic.
Right. Our first submission to beat your starting 9 comes from Shane. He says, Big D and Gene, Shane here. I was part of the D-back versus Brewers group with Gene. As a big baseball movie fan and the 2024 Shat Fantasy Baseball champion, I, of course, had to toss out my list for best fictional lineup, and I challenged myself to stick to actual positions played in the movie.
Ooh.
At shortstop, Benny the Jet from The Sandlot. At right field, Roy Hobbs from The Natural. In center field, T-Rex Pennebaker from Mr. 3000. Left field, Pedro Serrano from Major League. Another Major Leaguer at first base, Clu Haywood. At designated hitter, Jack Elliott from Mr. Baseball. Coming in at catcher, Dottie Hinson from A League of Their Own. At third base, Ray Mitchell from Angels in the Outfield. And at second base, Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own. As starting pitcher, Henry Rowan-Gardner from Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And for closer, Ricky Vaughn from Major League. Big D, it looks like our group of traveling baseball fans won't visit Florida for a couple more years, but you will be invited to join us. We're off to Texas this year instead. Since I'm writing the email, I'll toss out my bid to commission Good Morning Vietnam. Big D has said the pod needs more Robin Williams. Plus, there's a stickball scene. Let me know if that works. And finally, a while back, I had won Big D's contest for Emma to watch a kids movie. If that still stands, I would love for you and her to review Cars. It is one of my oldest child's favorite movies, and he's 22, so I think it holds up. Keep up the great work, and go Brewers, Shane. First of all, Shane, I did not know you were that old. I don't know if that's your bio child, but my goodness, you've aged very, very well. Also, man, thank you so much for coming out. I had such a good time with all you guys watching Brewers D-backs, and I secretly was rooting Brewers in the last playoff series. Tough break. It was a really rough night. I stayed up real late too, but tough break. Big D, how do you rate that lineup?
That's a fantastic, except for Dottie. I don't know that I would have started any of them, but other than that, it was great. And also, for Mr. 3000, I don't remember what kind of defensive player he was. Yes, he was a good bat. But I don't know if I want to put him in center field.
Was that the one with
I believe. Yes, it was
Bernie Mac.
Mix up my yes. I believe Bernie Mac played center in that. Do you want to double check that? I don't know that Mr.
Yeah, T-Rex Pennebaker. Yeah, it was Bernie Mac.
Yeah, yes. Okay, it's a good one though. So I want to hold on to his lineup and also say yes, we are aware. Emma knows we have to do Cars. It's been a little a busy season, but we will get that to you. Yeah. I promise. We're already planning it out. And also, Good Morning Vietnam is already on the schedule, luckily. Let me see who it was that scheduled it, just to make sure. That was scheduled by Benjamin W.
There we go.
If you want to come up with another film, great. And if, Gene, you want to throw me your second lineup.
Second lineup comes from Scott, who's Scott Zerner, is a big Mets fan, just like my pops. He said, I'm looking forward to the bobblehead. Tell me I'm the winner so I can give you my mailing address. Keep up the good work, Scott Zerner. So batting leadoff would be Willie Mays Hayes. Batting second, Benny the Jet. Third, you got Roy Hobbs. Batting cleanup, you got Pedro Serrano. And then batting fifth, Crash Davis. Sixth, Buck Weaver by John Cusack. 7, Jake Taylor. 8, Bump Bailey. And 9th, Nuke LaLoosh.
That Nuke had good stuff. I see. He went Bull Durham, and that Shane just completely abandoned that.
Say again.
I don't know. I was saying that Shane went full like comedy. Like a lot of his were fictional, but I totally didn't even think about Nuke Lelouch or Crash Davis. Those were like legit players you could see they could play. But I feel bad. I got to go to Shane. Shane built out an entire roster. He gave us a closer. He gave us a
You don't have to
starter.
choose just yet. I mean, we're still, Field of Dreams just came out.
He's got more?
I'm just saying Field of Dreams just came out. I mean, we should probably leave this open for at least another week.
I'm gonna hold the.
Yeah. Plus, you got your own roster, right? They got to beat yours.
Yes. So we got a good first couple submissions.
So keep them coming. You can write in at host@shatpod.com, or feel free to go to shatpod.com, use the SpeakPipe feature, and you can leave us a voicemail and read it off to us, explain it. Maybe you can do sound effects. I don't know. Anyway, Big D, that is it for email this week. What do we have coming up next week?
Gene, next week, popular and dashing American singer Nick Rivers travels to East Germany to perform in a music festival. When he loses his heart to a gorgeous woman, he finds himself caught up in an underground resistance movement. He joins forces with an agent and the beautiful young lady in an attempt to rescue her father from the Germans who have captured the scientist in hopes of coercing him into building a new naval mine. Commissioned by Rob H. as the final film. And this was a Roger Roper. Roger pushed for this from the very, very beginning. So it's about time that we got this. This is came out in 1984, and I have never seen this, but Roger raved about this movie, so I'm suspecting it'll be dumb.
For people who don't know, this is a comedy, by the way. So I just want to point that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It sounds very
dramatic.
serious.
Right,
and so I was like, what movie are you talking about? Then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah, there's a cow on the cover, and then there's somebody dressed up as like French resistance. There's almost like a Tarzan character.
Like a Roger movie.
There's a muscular man dressed up in drag as a nurse.
We got a message.
There's like an African riverboat captain. It looks very, very unique.
We got a Facebook message earlier this week in response to The Hunted that just said, I miss Roger's homoerotic noises on the podcast. So, yeah. I hope someday I'll be missed for my homoerotic noises. Which is just me opening my mouth. Anyway, Rob, thanks for the 4 commissions, and we'll be rounding it out next week. Thank you to all the commissioners who make this podcast possible. That concludes this week's episode of Shat The Movies. Be sure to follow us on social media and share with a friend. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. You can email us, host@shatpod.com. Support the podcast by shopping our Amazon affiliate link, buying our merch, or by commissioning your own movie. Find all information by visiting our website, shatpod.com. Also, check out our sister podcast, Shat on TV. Review TV series such as Lovecraft Country, Westworld, True Detective, Taboo, American Gods, Game of Thrones, and Watchmen. Find all information on our website, shatpod.com/TV, wherever fine podcasts you found, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. And if you stop at Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star review. It helps the podcast grow. On behalf of my co-host, Big D, I'm Gene Lyons. Join us next time for the following movie.
Wop babaloo bam a lop bamboo to the fruity, oh Rudy, to the fruity, oh Rudy, to the fruity, oh Rudy. Wop babaloo bam a lop bamboo. Got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do. Got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do.
Look, I'm not the first guy who fell in love with a girl he met in a restaurant who then turned out to be the daughter of a kidnapped scientist, only to lose her to her childhood lover who she'd last seen on a deserted island and who turned out 15 years later to be the leader of the French underground.
I know it. It all sounds like some bad movie.
Got a girl named Daisy. She almost drives me crazy. Got a girl named Daisy. She almost drives me crazy. She rocked me to the east, she rocked me to the west, but she's the girl that I love best. So to the fruity, oh Rudy, 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 to the fruity,